to Fabrengen of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Yud Shvat Tovshin Mem, the 30th anniversary of the yahrzeit of his father-in-law. So Rabbi Yoshe Beck came. He was supposed to come for 20 minutes. He stayed a few hours. So I was a little kid. It was a moving sight.
It's on the video.
It's a video, yeah? It was a very moving sight. The Rebbe didn't sit down till he sat down, and when he left, the Rebbe stood up and waited till he stood up. It was he gave him a lot of respect. They knew each other from Berlin. So the Rebbe made then a hardran, a siyum on 4 mesechtas. On all yahrzeits, he would make a siyum on a mesechta. He made a siyum on 4 mesechtas: brachas, nazi, yevamis, and krisis. Krisis, banayich, or shetevis banayich. Brachas, nazi, yevamis, krisis. Soliveitchik was there, and the two geniuses, and he was listening very intently. And it was noticeable that the Rebbe was speaking a little bit of a different style than his usual style. Like he was covering more ground in shorter words. It was a very long siyum on all 4 mesechtas. He said in Avart that the 4 mesechtas, the siyum of the 4 mesechtas, they all end the same way. Talmidei Chachamim, Marbim Shalom Ba'olam, Shenamar V'chol Banayich, and it's the brachas nazivam. And everybody struggles why these 4 mesechtas. So the Rebbe explained the theme of the 4 mesechtas, and he compared it. It was Parshas B'Shalach. It says in Mechilta that when the Jews came to the Yam Suf, they split up into 4 groups. How do we know? From Moshe's words to them. One group said, the Egyptians are here, the sea is here. Nipel Yam, mass suicide. Let's jump into the sea. Another group said, surrender, let's go back to Egypt. Another group said, let's fight. Let's go down. We'll die, but we'll go down fighting. And another group said, Sedan Eberstav the Welt, let's daven. And they got into a major war. Right there, stuck between, what is it called? Between the rock and the hard ball. Hard place. What does Moshe tell them? You listen to his response, he speaks to 4 different groups. Hisyatzvu uru'us Yeshuas Hashem. Stop! Don't move. That was to the group that wanted to jump into the sea. The group that said, let's go back to Egypt. You're never going back. The group that said, let's fight. Hashem yilachim lachem. You stay put, God will. The group that said, let's daven. V'atem tachrish. Mechilta. It's fascinating Mechilta. You know that you hear a speech, it's not one speech, it's 4 speeches put together in a pasuk or 2. 4 different groups. So what? Yeah, we don't jump into the sea, we're not killing ourselves, we're not surrendering, we're not davening, and we're not fighting. Was tut man? Shalashudus? Daber el bnei Yisrael, v'yisol. Yisol, move on. What's move on? Where are you moving? There's a sea. Pshat is, I told you to go to Har Sinai, go to Har Sinai. You move. The sea has to split, they'll split. Don't start committing suicide on me. So the Rebbe said that's brachas, nazir, yevamis, krisos. The siyum is these 4 groups. And he basically connected it with the 4 mesechtas. Oh, long hadron. But the nekuda was that there's 4 approaches that Jews have. When they're stuck, there's 4 different approaches. The Egyptians are behind them, the sea is behind. One group says, Nipalayam. See, Taich, what's that Nipalayam? Nipalayam means, Yam is Almadiskasi. It's the concealed world. Yam of Torah, Yam of Tefillah. Let's jump into the ocean and submerge ourselves in the mikveh and stay in the mikveh all day and all night and don't come up. Go into a world of absolute spirituality. Mei Hadasa Torah. That's one group. One group says, I had enough with this crazy Meshugana world. I go into the Yam of Torah, the Yam of Tefillah, asceticism, segregation, heaven, a form of death in a good way. The other group says the exact opposite. You got to surrender. You have to become part of the mainstream. You can't remain. You have to become part of society. Doesn't mean you have to be a slave sometimes, yeah. Doesn't mean you work for Egypt, yeah. But you live, that's how you do it. Compromise, philosophy of compromise. A third philosophy is, you just fight. All day you fight and you machmachos and you're busy fighting with everybody. You fight because you work for God. And the 4th option, he says, which seems like a really beautiful option, is you say, God, it's your world. You rely on him, you daven. You're not fighting. You're not surrendering. It's the medaven. You sing the gunim and you daven. He said all four approaches were not the right thing. What's the right approach? Daber el bnei Yisrael v'yisol. So what's pshat? He said the Eibishter sagt Moshe Rabbeinu said da outside was man darf einpacken the talis and tefillin und man darf gehen spalten ayam. Comes a time you have to put away your talis and tefillin because they wanted to daven, and you have to go split a sea. What's splitting the sea? Splitting the sea is that Alma de Skasya should become Alma de Izgalia. The concealed world should be the revealed world. The sea opens up. What was previously concealed should be revealed. In other words, don't fight the whole world. Don't surrender anything. Don't run away. And don't rely on God. Only. Your job is to transform Yabasha into Yam. And Yam into Yabasha. That's the Nikud of Lasas Leis Baruch Dere B'Tachtoina. That takes a certain sense. Not because you're compromising. And not because you're running away. Because your avodah is to confront the challenge and not be afraid of it, realize it was there to be transformed. That was the fifth approach that they didn't think of. They were trying to figure out how it works. Daber el bnei Yisrael v'yisol. You have a destination, go to your destination. Travel. Okay.
This class is brought to you by theyeshiva.net. Please help us continue the classes. Make even a small contribution at www.theyeshiva.net/donate.